With this speech, I'll break down the topic I'm advocating for by first giving an introduction to my topic, diving into the body of my speech and explaining my topic using evidence and knowledge, and then explaining my personal connection to the topic, and then giving a conclusion. Now, the topic I'm advocating for today is one of the most relevant topics in today's society, the topic of anxiety and depression. Now, we're all faced with this, whether you experience it yourself or whether you know someone who does, whether it's mild or severe. But the question is, how do we deal with these issues? Now, likely, since you guys go here, you know that you should be seeking God and He will give you peace. But beyond that, you should be seeking people and allow yourself to really open up to them. Now, this is actually a problem that I really struggle with myself, which is why I decided to advocate for this topic. And I want you guys to know that I'm here to persuade you into taking the action in your lives and seeking people who you trust to open up to and expose these problems, and through that, persuading them to do the same in their life. Now, let me dive into the body of my speech. The National Network of Depression Centers says that depression is the leading cause of disability in the United States among people ages 15 to 44, and that there is one death by suicide every 12 minutes in the United States. These are very disturbing statistics that my topic presents. Now, as I spoke with you guys about how you guys cope with these issues that you may face, you said that you use activities that you enjoy to distract yourself from your pain or whatever you may be feeling. Now, this is a very popular way of going about things, but it is destructive rather than constructive, because by doing that, you are suppressing the problem itself rather than dealing with it directly. To tackle it directly, you need to bring it to the light by sharing it with someone that you trust, and then by exposing that, you can begin to heal and then move on. And Dr. Brene Brown, a research professor at the University of Houston Graduate College of Social Work, who has been studying the topic of human connection for 12 years, says in her TED Talk called The Power of Vulnerability that by the time you're a social worker for 10 years, what you realize is that connection is why we're here. It's what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. Now, to access all that we want from human connection, we need to access that vulnerability within ourselves and share it with others. And the Bible actually does say, well, there is no guidance, people falls, but in abundance of counselors there's safety, which comes from Proverbs 11:14. Now, we must seek others in our lives whom we trust for guidance. And I know that's a scary thing to do, and there's fear behind that, because in doing so, there's shame, and there's the fear of losing power because you're being vulnerable with someone. But the reality is, we all have our own problems, and it's just important to be able to open up with others with those problems. And being vulnerable is what makes us human. But the great thing is that we can use our brokenness to our advantage, because when we do let others into our mess, it brings healing to both you and the person you're sharing with through empathy. Now, now I'll jump into my personal connection to the topic. This message that I'm giving you guys is actually meant for people similar to me, because when I'm going through something, feeling depressed and anxious, I typically keep it bottled up inside, which makes me feel like I have something eating me from the inside out. And it's like I have a poison inside me. But it isn't until I share it with someone that the pressure releases, the weight is lifted off my chest, and the healing begins. But in my personal life, the way I've actually experienced this recently is when me and my roommate are going through different going through different problems ourselves in our own lives, we've been able to seek each other and open up about it, which has brought a lot of healing and allowed us to move past our problems, and also through that draw closer to each other. So it's been very beneficial. So, to conclude my speech, I challenge you all to take that action, like I said, and seek those who you trust in your life, and self-reflect on those problems you may be bottling up and hiding, and just bring them to the light, expose them, talk about them, let the one you're talking to talk about it to you, and then through that, you guys can both move forward in healing, and then as well continue to do the same in your own life. Thank you.